This is Trix. He has been here for about 6 or 7 months in total of training under saddle, and I've just started training him in hand to basically the beginning of the piaffe and passage, which is really just about leg control from the whip and just getting them really comfortable with the whip. He was very nervous, and he is a very sensitive horse, and he was very nervous about the whip in terms of he knew it meant something kind of forward, but he was a bit tense about it. So a really good way before we start the piaffe and passage is to just teach him to be really comfortable with the whip over his body, being able to rub him all over and stuff like that, and he'll try and show you all his tricks already because he's learned a little bit. Making sure he's comfortable with it on his belly, so you can, for example, rub it on his body. I like to do it with a halter on so that I can give them some treats and stuff like that, but just trying to make sure that when you give treats that it's away from your body, and again that they're not coming into your space to give to ask for the food. So basically, in terms of lifting their legs, what we want to teach them is we're just working from the knee up on the front legs and from the fetlock up on the hind legs in general. So we want to make sure that basically anywhere around here is where we want to use the whip, or here on the front legs, to teach them the action of moving of lifting their leg for that. So I'll show you what kind of reaction we're looking for. So that's very good. And I would normally give him a treat when we were starting out to do that, but he knows that very well now, so I don't really need to. But when you're starting off and they give you something good, or any attempt at all, then you should reward them for that. And in the beginning they don't, like, he was very sensitive, so he would really crumple down on the whip actually and try and get lower from the whip because he was a bit nervous. He's like, whoa, what are you doing to me? But now he's obviously much better at it, so he's got the full action. So in the beginning you might notice that you'll tap them and they just do this, and you just reward a little bit for that. But pretty quickly, once they're doing this and they're not like running around anywhere else, they're doing that consistently, then you can ask for a little bit more. So as soon as they come back down, tap again until they do something bigger, and then reward for that. So you do that all the way until basically from the standstill you can lift him up like that. I'll give him a bit of food. And the same, I'll just make sure he's not anticipating me. On the front, when I tap him here, good, he's got to tap. I have to tap until he gives again a little reaction, and then eventually shape it into what I got from behind the leg, which is easier to get that kind of reaching action. But in terms of actually training him later on, it's really good for him to be able to give that same action from pressure on the front of the leg as well. So he actually has to learn to push the pressure off to get the release, which is a different kind of concept. So then generally you turn the horse around the other way and do the other side, do the other front leg as well. But once you've got him good at it, like he is, then you can do it, both of them, in front like that. And you can even, when you're actually on this side, if he's for some reason not getting the idea in front, then you can reach around and make it clearer like that if you have to as well. So once he's got good at that, then we can start to basically teach him it whilst we're going forward. And it's quite hard to show you when he already knows the tricks, but essentially for the front legs I like to teach them just to walk and be able to step, like a little bit Spanish walk type idea, and just be able to get them to understand us being able to move their legs whilst moving forward and without getting, you know, tense and trying to run through us. It's all really important concepts for them to learn, so that they learn to just feel the tap of the whip, but understand that it just means move that limb or a couple of limbs in sequence. So I'll show you in terms of how I started. I'd basically walk him, and every time his right front would take a step, and go on the ground, I would then tap for his left front to come up. So I'd go normal step, normally he wouldn't, and then tap. Up, so there he missed it, so I'm going to stop him there, tap until I get that. Good. Boy. So what a horse that doesn't know it is going to do is they're going to walk like this, normal with one leg, and then you're going to just tap the leg closest to you like that. And just basically, if he goes to walk and he doesn't do it, then stop, step him back, tap, and keep repeating that until you can just get the inside front leg to step up when you want, and then you reverse him around the other side, around the other way, and do the other inside front leg. After a while, what you can start to do is you can actually teach them, when you just stay on this side, to be able to, yeah, good. And you can teach them like that, off both legs. Once they're then good at that, and you can really easily control their legs just like you did there before, you then start to put it a little bit on your voice, or maybe you already have a little bit. So I use kind of a clicking type noise, and just have the whip around him and just go. Good boy. So there I'm just kind of experimenting, because there he wasn't listening to my click enough, because this is a little bit where he's up to anyway. And so then I just come in with the whip, and I want to use it kind of a little bit under the belly. But then I can easily bring it down and close to where I know gives a bit of a reaction. And because I've taught him initially to just be able to lift both legs, he kind of understands, even though I just have the whip here on this side, that when it's the chance for that leg to come forward, I tap there as well, and it makes that leg give the reaction as well. So I'll show that again. Boy. So you're just playing around with them like that basically, and then it's about getting that better and better, and always just rewarding, when you see something better. It could be the rhythm that was slightly better, it could be the way you lifted it, whatever aspect to it that you liked, reward for that. So sometimes it's different, and sometimes you just have to reward for a bit of relaxation. If they get a little bit tense about it, then you just reward for them being relaxed, and then start again, and then eventually we want to be able to take it into the trot.